So I didn't really, well, first of all, thank you guys for coming out. Obviously, thank you guys for coming out. I didn't come to sing a Christmas carol. I didn't come to, spread a lot of holiday joy. I came to ask a question, which is, how come there ain't no holiday lights on the south side of Chicago? I mean, that's where really this started from. How come there's no holiday lights on the south side of Chicago, right? We don't have no garland. There's no, ribbons like they got in Edgewater up north. How come ain't no brothers on the wall, Sal? Y'all remember that from Do the Right Thing? How come ain't no brothers on the wall, Sal? I'm asking the same question. How come ain't no holiday lights on the south side of Chicago? There's no ornaments in the yards. I don't see the city pole reefs that connect to the city's electric grid and they light up the whole street. I seen it in Edgewater. I seen it in Greektown. How come ain't no holiday lights on the south side of Chicago? That's the kind of questions I'll be asking. So it's almost like Santa Claus just forgot about the south side of Chicago. Somebody forgot about us, right? Did Santa Claus forget about the south side of Chicago? Those kind of questions I'll be thinking. So I asked him. I saw Santa Claus. I saw him at the currency exchange on 83rd and Cottage. Hey, he was cashing his income tax check for 3%. So I said, Santa. He said, what, son? I said, I got some questions for you, Santa. He said, what's up? I said, Santa, how come there's 15 currency exchanges in my neighborhood and ain't no banks, Santa? I said, Santa, how come the currency exchange got our bulletproof glass windows when they robbing us? They just charge you 3% on your income tax check, Santa. I said, Santa, for real, man, how come I see helicopter lights and police car lights on King Drive. I don't see no holiday lights, Santa. What, y'all forgot about us? I said, man, Santa, how come they starting to market Louis Vuitton caskets and Gucci caskets that light up at night in the windows of the funeral home, Santa? You like, Mom, I want that casket. I want that casket for Christmas, Santa. Why they doing that to us, Santa? I said, Santa, how come the biggest billboards in my neighborhoods, they say cheap divorces and $6,000 tax advances, Santa? I said, Santa, how come the business owners in my neighborhood, they put locks on all the essential items, Santa? Santa, they put locks on the do-rags in the beauty supply store, Santa? Santa, they put locks on the cough syrup in the Walgreens, Santa? Santa, they lock the gas station when you come in, and you gotta pay for them to buzz you out, Santa? I know people say, oh, that's because people are stealing, that's why they got the locks. No, Santa. They putting a lock on our minds, Santa. They putting a lock on our aspirations, Santa. They putting a lock on our knowledge. Come on, Santa. How come I don't see no holiday lights on the pole, Santa? What, y'all forgot about us? What's going on? Is it because we black people, Santa? Is it because there's so much gun violence on the south side of Chicago, Santa? What's going on? Did you forget about us? Is it because of the gun violence? You know what Santa said? He said, gun violence, son. Gun violence for real? You think that I make my decisions on spreading joy and toys in the community based upon gun violence? He said, gun violence, son, for real? He said, white-collar crime takes more from our country and affects more people than gun violence in Chicago, son. He said, with a gun, no, seriously, he said, with a gun, maybe a few thousand people unfortunately lose their lives. But millions of people lost their livelihoods when the banks got bailed out in 2008. No, he said, Santa said, people was committing suicide and jumping off of bridges because they couldn't afford to pay the banks back that got the bailout money. So he said, I guess, son, if you take money from people without a gun and the government gives you money to do it, then it's not a crime, huh? He said, listen, gun violence? He said, how many of these so-called gun violence incidents you're talking about are the result of these pharmaceutical companies? They're giving these teenagers these pain and these stress and these mood-related drugs. These kids is popping Perkies, Mollies, all Oxycontin, right? They popping them like candy. Whatever mood you in when you take it, that's what mood you in, you'll be in all day. So if you're happy, you take the perk, you happy. If you're mad when you take the perk, you go rob somebody and you mad. How many of these so-called gun violence deaths are the result of kids taking these pain and these mood and these stress-related drugs from these pharmaceutical companies? You think that I'm thinking about gun violence, son? Santa Claus said, how about these agribusiness corporations? They're pumping pesticides and herbicides and genetically modified hormones into your food supply. It's gonna take generations before we know how that's affecting us. You got chicken wings as big as your elbows. Ain't no grocery stores in the community. You think I'm thinking about gun violence, son? Santa Claus, he put me on game, y'all. He said, Jahmal, what about the Deepwater Horizon disaster? BP, they spilled oil in the Gulf of Mexico for 6 months. Millions of people lost their livelihood because of that. None of their top decision makers got jail time at all. They paid Congress $20 billion. The fact that they have $20 billion to give away and people in Chicago is robbing each other for $20, that's a crime, son. You think I think about gun violence? Come on, son. I was like, dang, is this Santa Claus or this J.B. Pritzker? I was like, dang, No, listen, J.B. Pritzker wouldn't be in a currency exchange, clearly. Y'all not taking 3% of his $100, not at all, right? But nah, Santa put me on game, y'all, but when I left that conversation, I was thinking like, man, Santa is right. The holidays is not about waiting for somebody to do something for you. The holidays ain't about somebody giving you a gift. The holidays are about you being the light. So all the volunteers that came out today, we are the light. The teenagers that came out today with their parents, you guys are the light. The team in my block, my hood, my city that worked their tail off all the month, they are the light. And everybody can't be the light. That's what Santa Claus told me. Everybody can't be the light. Because when you're the light, you can't be concerned with the darkness of what's happening on King Drive. Like when you're the light, you can't be concerned about the darkness of people hating on you. When you're the light, you can't be concerned about the darkness of worrying. Like, how am I gonna pay for all this? And when you're the light, your job is to shine bright. When you guys see that tree light up at night, that tree is not just a tree standing up. That tree represents us standing up for our community, y'all. That tree represents us standing up for our community's voices to be respected, y'all. That tree represents us standing up for the south side of Chicago. So when you're going to hang lights today on King Drive, just know that you're the light in the face of darkness. And don't be ashamed when I say it's darkness on King Drive, man. Everybody knows a lot of darkness going on. It's a gas station on King Drive right now we call the unlucky gas station. If you go to that gas station right now, you get robbed. It's unlucky to go to that gas station. We putting lights on that gas station today. I saw my first body on King Drive. I saw my first body on, they shot the dude 14 times. By the time I pulled up, they pulled off real slow. They weren't even in a rush. They pulled off slow and signaled at the light. How do you got so much darkness in your heart where you can shoot somebody 14 times, but got the decency to signal at the stop sign after you shoot them? It's dark on King Drive. So what we're doing today is not just about putting up lights, it's about bringing light to an area that really needs it. So I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Yo, this is the 6th year we do it. Give it up for yourselves for coming out, man. And I want to thank, obviously, man, it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of people. It takes Inglewood, it takes Chatham, it takes Road, it takes a lot of people. And also, it takes government too, man, because look, it takes partners in federal government and state government and city government to work with nonprofits so we have money to do things. So y'all give a shout out to the Alderman in 6th Ward in Chatham, because look, Chatham is not a community area. Chatham is a state of mind. And Alderman Will Hall is a friend of mine. He represents Chatham, man. So thank you for coming out, man.